Good morning students. Welcoming to the next video class children. How are you all? It's okay, I hope all are fine. First we are going to recall that previous class concept children. The last class we had completed that attributes of living organism. Am I correct? Yes, good. So there we had completed so many concepts regarding that growth. Very good. Reproduction, cellular structure, isn't it? The next one, response to stimuli, metabolic activities and hemostasis. So these all the concepts we had completed under the topics of attributes of living organism. Am I correct children? Have you learnt? Yes, good, very good. So today's class we are moving, that is the next topic children, virus. Okay, so the next topic, virus. You heard this word itself, you remember that is the virus's names, isn't it? Can you able to say some of this virus's name children? Very good. Ebola virus, SARS virus, HIV virus. Then nowadays are also familiar one of this virus name, isn't it? So these all the viruses, they have serious entity of this living organism. So this is the comes to that is a biological puzzles. Okay? So this is you are called as the name is known as viruses. Understood? Yes. First one, this virus. The name, so the Latin word viruses means, that's the meaning of poison. Okay, so that's the word meaning is, we are called as, the name is known as poison. So what does mean by virus? The viruses, if we are looking, means that is very minute particle, ultra microscopic particle. That's a submicroscopic particles. Okay. So this is the obligate intracellular parasitic organisms. Okay, parasites means live another one organism. Understood? Intracellular, inside the cell only, this is the living one. Okay. So then there also they presence in two items, two very important thing is there. One is nucleic acid core substance is there, and surrounded by there is the presence in a protein coat. Okay. If we are looking, this is the virus means, just this is one of the tobacco mosaic virus. The center region there is presence in a nucleic acid core substances and then surrounded by, so this is the protein coat. Understood ma'am? Say yes or no children? Yes, good. Then, what do you mean by virology? Okay, what does that mean by virology? The study of virus, that is known as virology. Clear? What does mean by virology children? That regarding studies. Okay, the study of this virus is called as, the name is known as virology. Next we are going to learn about this is the size and shape of the viruses. If we are measuring the size of this viruses means, already I said very minute compared to this bacteria. Bacteria also very minute cell. Compared to that bacteria also, this is very one of this very smallest minute ultra microscopic particles. Clear? Then for example, the sizes they are mentioning in a bacteriophage means, so there is 10 to 100 nm. So 1 nm is equal to 10 raised to -9 meters. Okay, so that much of this very minute particle. Then tobacco mosaic virus, that is the sizes they are measuring in a 300 into 20 nm size of this tobacco mosaic virus. Clear children? The next one, based on that size and shape of this, the size, first we had completed that size. The next one, based on that shape and symmetry. Okay. The shapes of the virus and symmetry of the viruses, that regarding we are going to learn about. That's the three major types. One of the very important 3-mark question. What are the three shapes and symmetry of this viruses means? First one is cuboid symmetry, helical symmetry, and complex and atypical symmetry. Okay, so this is the cuboid symmetry. Okay, the next one is, so this is the helical symmetry. For an example, the last one is the, so there is the very good complex and atypical symmetry. Clear, children? So each one you are going to learn one example. The cuboid symmetry means, so there is one of the very good example, adenovirus. Okay, so this is the first one, adenovirus. The next one, helical symmetry. So there is one of the very important one of this virus is that, so there is a tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, so there is a tobacco mosaic virus. The next one, complex and atypical symmetry. So there, learn about this. The examples of this virus is that bacteriophage viruses. Bacteriophage viruses. So here this is only they are mentioning in shapes and symmetry based. They are classified into 3 types of this viruses. Next one we are going to learn about this characteristic features of viruses. What are the characters? If that any one of these organisms means they have that certain characters. Okay. Here this viruses means, so that one they have some of the special living characters and non-living characters. Okay. How that is expressing that's living things and non-living things. That's the things only we are going to learn that next one. Okay. But first one, living characters means already I said they have that is the important component is that's two. One is nucleic acid and another one is protein coat. Okay. Then this is the virus. The living character means, so they have that is the ability of mutation. What's mean by mutation, children? What do you mean by mutation? Very good. Sudden heritable changes. Okay. Then also this have that ability to affect and they causing the diseases of this man. Okay, diseases of this human beings. So that is the very efficient or very effective character of this living. Clear, children? Say yes or no, children? Yes, very good. Then, so here the non-living characters. If we are looking, that's the non-living characters means, so this can be crystallized form. Okay, so that is cannot be multiplying that's outside of the cells. So this living character inside the cells only, they can ability to multiply. Okay, but this is the viruses, they outside that living organism, the outside the cells means they cannot be multiplying. Understood, children? Say yes or no? So these are the few characteristic features of this. That is the living and non-living characteristic features of viruses. Understood? Say yes or no? Yes. Next one, we are going to learn classification of viruses. Classification means what is the nature of those viruses? Okay? And what is the nature of this genome? And then how that mechanism of this originality, I mean RNA molecule or DNA. There is a how, there is a mechanism of this productions of this RNA, and then the nature of the genome, and then the reverse transcriptase, using of this reverse transcriptase mechanism. These 3 based only, that is the viruses are classified into 7 classes. These all the 7 classes, they are listed out, that's one by one. So these 7 classes, which one of this example of this viruses comes to that category, they are giving in this one. Clear, children? So based on that 3 major characteristic features, the viruses are they are classified into this one. Understood? Yes. Then which person they are discovered? This is the virus classification of viruses means. That's the person name is David Baltimore. Okay. In the year of 1971. Sometimes they will ask, that's a one-word question. You should know this. Discovered by David Baltimore in the year of 1971. Understood, ba? Say yes or no? Yes. Next one, viral genome. Already I said that viral genome means any one of the nucleic acid is present. Either that is the RNA or that is the DNA molecule is there. Okay. So either that is the very good, that's a single stranded, or that is the double stranded structures. Okay. So that may be helical, or that may be in a linear form, or that is a circular form. Whatever it is, these are the shapes also they present inside, that is the RNA or DNA molecules or DNA material. Clear, children? Yes. Here, what do you mean by deoxyviruses means the viruses possess DNA nucleic acid content means, okay, that is known as deoxyviruses. Okay. Next one, what do you mean by riboviruses? The viruses, they possessing RNA molecules means, so that is we are called as, the name is known as riboviruses. The viruses possess RNA material, RNA molecule or RNA compound, so that is called deoxyviruses. Next one, RNA possessing viruses is known as riboviruses. Clear? Here, this is based on this nature of this nucleic acid. Already I said the nucleic acid means whether it is the presence in either RNA or DNA molecule, either single stranded or that is a double stranded structures. Clear, children? But based on that, the nature of this nucleic acid, okay, so they comes under in 4 categories of viruses. This is also one of the 3-mark question, children, so all of you listen. First one, the category is 1, the viruses with a single stranded DNA and double stranded DNA, the viruses with, that is a single stranded RNA, and viruses with double stranded RNA. Each one you have to be quoted in a 1 examples. Okay. The first one, this viruses with a single stranded DNA, that's one of the good example of this virus is a parvoviruses. Clear? The next one, double stranded DNA, that's a good example of this is virus's name is bacteriophage viruses. Single stranded RNA, that's one good example. So this is the tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, so this is the viruses, tobacco mosaic viruses. Double stranded RNA molecule is present with that virus, that is the example is wound tumor viruses. Okay, so this is that. Second one, double stranded DNA, so that is the bacteriophage viruses. Clear, children? Yes. Next one, we are going to learn about, that is a detailed structure of tobacco mosaic virus, and that is the bacteriophage viruses. Okay, we are going to learn about, this the detailed study of tobacco mosaic viruses, and so that's the bacteriophage viruses. First, we are going to learn about, this is the tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, the first one, this tobacco mosaic virus discovered by Dmitry Ivanovsky. Okay, so that person only discovered this is the tobacco mosaic virus in the year of 1892. Okay, from which that's a tobacco plant only, that person, that is Dmitry Ivanovsky, that person obtained this is the tobacco mosaic virus, or find out that's a tobacco mosaic virus. Clear, children? So which person they discovered this virus, in which plants they discovered, and in which year that person has discovered this virus. Okay, these are the some one-word questions are there, so you should prepare it. Understood, children? Say yes or no? Normally, this viruses they affecting in that's a normal plant. Okay, so through aphids, and then so there also they some of this locust So that's some grasshopper like. Okay, so these are the some insects only, they affecting, this is the viruses. Okay, the normal plants, so through affecting these are the things. Then what is the symptoms appearing? Suppose the normal plant, so they affect, that's the viruses means. What are the symptoms we are going to see? This is the tobacco mosaic viruses means. First one, the discoloration of this leaf regions. Okay, so the discoloration of the leaf regions means, so that is the center of this leaf. Okay, that's the center of the leaf region. So there they presents in a yellow and greenish color. So just the dot like representation of this yellow and green color just looks like a mosaic like symptoms. Clear, children? Then also second symptom, the curling of this apical part of the leaf. Okay, that's where that looking this plant means, that's a curling of this apical part of the leaf. So that also, that's the second one of the symptoms. So appear or infecting the one of the normal plant. Understood, children? Say yes or no, ma? Then what will happen? Immediately one of the normal plant, if this virus is affected in that normal plant, then immediately that's a plant growth is stunted and yield also affected. Clear, ma? So this is that's the symptoms, and then what is the response of this affecting of this tobacco mosaic virus in the tobacco plant. So these all the things are happening. Clear? Next one, structure of tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, we are going to learn about this is the structure of tobacco mosaic viruses. If we are looking, this is the tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, if we are looking, this is the tobacco mosaic viruses means, so here first one, this is the rod shape of this helical viruses. Okay, so this is the rod shape of this helical viruses. If we are measuring, this is the helical viruses, so that is the size already we had learnt. So that is the 300 to 20 μm. Okay, so nm length. So this is the 300 to 20 nm. So then also this is the molecular structures. So the molecular structure is 39 into 10 raised to 6 Daltons. That's a unit is they mentioned in Daltons. Understood? The next one, if we are looking in, this is the tobacco mosaic virus, two essential components, two constitution is there. One is protein coat. So this protein coat is called as the name is known as capsid. Okay, and another one is the core substance. That core substances we are called nucleic acid. Okay, these two essential constitution is present in this tobacco mosaic viruses. Then, so here, this, what do you mean by capsomeres? So, in this capsomere, that's a single subunit is called as the name is known as capsomeres. Clear, children? What do you mean by capsomere? This is the individual unit. The single unit of this capsids, or that's a protein coat, that is the name is we are called as the name is known as capsomeres. Understood, children? So here, how many units are they present means 2130 subunit, identical protein subunit, they make it together in a capsomeres. Clear, children? Say yes or no? Yes. Next one, if you are looking, this is the helical strands of the core substance, or that's a nucleic acid. So here, they presence in that is that around 6500 nucleotides are there. Okay, so this is the region. How many nucleotides are there, children? 6500 nucleotides are they presence in this is the helically, so there is a single stranded RNA molecules. Okay, so that's a nucleic acid. Either they present RNA or DNA, but here they present presence in a single stranded RNA. So here there is presence in a 6500 nucleotides. I mean, so this is the formation of this genetic material. The genetic material is the very essential things to make it in that arrangements. Clear? Say yes or no, children? Yes. The next one we are going to learn about is the next one of this examples of this virus. So this is the bacteriophage virus. Okay, so this is the examples for so many bacteriophage viruses are there, T2 and T4, T6. So these are the certain types of this bacteriophage viruses, children. So this one is the examples for T4 bacteriophage. Understood? Say yes or no? Yes. The next one we are going to learn about this is the T4 bacteriophage viruses. If you are looking, this is the T4 bacteriophage means. Okay. First one, what do you mean by bacteriophage? Okay. What do you mean by bacteriophage means? Bacteria infecting the viruses is known as. The virus infecting the bacteria is known as bacteriophage. Clear? The viruses infecting the bacteria is known as bacteriophage. But first of all, where are the regions to found this bacteriophage means? Soil and then some vegetables and then so that's a milk. So these are the things commonly they found this bacteriophage. Clear, children? Yes. Next one, what is the structure of this bacteriophage? That's a T4 bacteriophage means. If you are looking, this is the structure. So this is there commonly they are defined tadpole-like structures. Okay. So that's a structure as they are looking in a tadpole-like structures. So if this tadpole-like structures, so they consisting of mainly 4 parts. First one is headed region, collar region. I mean collar means so that's a tail region. This collar and followed by they consisting of a basal plate and then tail fibers. All these items are they together to presence in these. That's a type of this bacteriophage. That's a structure of this bacteriophage viruses. Understood? First headed part, then so there is a collar region and then basal plate, tail fibers. Everything is they presence in the structure of tadpole virus or that is the bacteriophage viruses. Clear, children? Say yes or no? Yes. Next one, what is the major duty for this regions? How will you connecting of these head and that's the tail region means? So this is the collar region. Okay, so this is the collar region. So there is a central, there is a core region. I mean one empty space like structure is there, children. So this one they connected. This is the tail region. They connected by this is the headed part by that's the collar. Okay, this is the tail. This is the head. They connected by that is the collar part. Okay, the collar means one of the central, that's a core, that's one of this empty space like structure is there. Then if we are looking in this is the end of this tail region, so their presence in a helical like structures of this, that's a tail fiber and that's a basal region, so their presence in a basal plate. Okay, this region, so their presence in a 6 spikes and with that is the tail fibers also there. Clear? Then what is the major functions of this tail fiber? Okay, this tail fiber, so that is the host organism. Host organism means that's bacterial cell. So that's a bacteria is the one of the host organism. Okay, so here the bacterial cell wall, this is the tail fibers, that's a major duties. That's a host organism, the bacterial cell wall. They attaching or that is a landing position of this landing regions of the bacterial cell wall during that is the multiplication times or that is a during that is a replication times. Clear? That is the major duty. That's the major functions for this is the fibers region, tail fibers one. Clear? Yes. Then the next one, if we are looking, this is the headed regions means, So if you are look this the headed region, that's a hexagonal in shapes. Okay, this hexagonal in shapes. So here there is around 2000 identical protein subunits are made in this area. Clear? Then so here the presence in there is a double-stranded DNA molecule is there. This double-stranded DNA molecules, okay, so this is the 50 μm, that is the DNA strand is tightly packed inside the headed regions. If this is the part of this DNA is come out means, so that the length is the 1000 times longer in that phase itself. Clear, children? So there is 1000 times longer. So that much of the length is their presence. So the tightly packing of this 50 μm, the size of this double-stranded DNA molecules. Understood, children? So this is the overall structure of this bacteriophage viruses. Okay? Understood, ma? Say yes or no? Yes. The first one, we had completed in that. What is viruses? What do you mean by virology? The next one, we are covered in that. What is the size of this viruses? Commonly, we had completed in two examples of the size of this viruses. The next one, basis on that shape and symmetry based comes to that three types of this viruses. Can you able to say? Yes, very good. First one is? Very good. Tell me, tell one by one. Cuboid symmetry, helical symmetry, complex and atypical symmetry. Okay, each one you have to be right that one examples. The next one, so we are going to learn about the characteristic features of viruses. Whether it is living means, so that one is giving one type of characters. Whether it is non-living things means, so that one is they giving in it shows in the other type of this characteristic features. Okay. The next one is classification. Mainly some of the basis characters based only they are dividing in 7 classes of this viruses. Understood? The next one is viral genome. What about the genome characters they present inside the virus? They are also based on that. Okay, based on the nature of the nucleic acid, they categorized into 4 categories. The 4 categories of viruses. Already we learned that viruses were double-stranded DNA, single-stranded DNA, double-stranded RNA and single-stranded RNA. Each one you have to be right. That's a one examples. Clear? Then what do you mean by deoxyviruses and what do you mean by riboviruses? Okay? Clear? So these are the things you have to be prepared in that part. Next one we had completed in a 2 detailed study of this structure of this 2 type of this viruses. One is tobacco mosaic viruses and another one is bacteriophage viruses. So first one, the tobacco mosaic virus, who discovered that viruses, from which one discovered that one, in which year. So these are the things you have to be prepared that one word, and then how that's the symptoms are appearing in the one normal plant to that's affected tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, then you have to be learn about that's structure. This is the diagram part also very important. Okay, children. The next one, so we are learned that's second one of the type of the virus structure, bacteriophage. First one, you learn about that. What do you mean by bacteriophage? Where are the places abundantly present this bacteriophage? Next one, what about the structure of this virus? Okay. Today's class, I am going to give that one of the homework portions, children. First one, so I will send it, that is the screenshot papers, children, the textbook papers. So that time, so you should take one separate notebook for that biobotany students. You write it in a biobotany classwork note, and then botany students you write it in a botany classwork note. Okay, in that note please I am requesting you children, these two diagrams you have to draw and that you have to be submitted in the school. Okay children, first you have to be draw, this is the two diagram alone. Okay, so this class only I am giving that's a diagram for children, and also just you have to be cover your portions. Very good. So that's either 2 mark or 3 mark based, and then you have to be prepared that is a 1 word based also. The homework portion I am going to give these two diagrams. You should make it draw in your classwork note. Understood, ma'am? Yes, good. Thank you students. Thank you.